My name is Nikos Karaflos and I'm the owner and Imagineer of Dexamenes Seaside Hotel. I'm a local. I was born and raised here in this region. My family bought the place when I was 15 years old, but I already knew the history of it. At school, at the history class, we had to interview people that used to work here, so I had in my memory stories that I was told by them. This building was a landmark for the region, and it was very significant because it symbolized the golden era of the 19th century for Greece. It was built after the currants crisis broke out, when the overproduction of currants could not be exported anymore, so they had to convert it into alternative products like wine. Having that knowledge, I felt that it was my duty to preserve the history and let buildings tell the story, instead of demolishing it or building something new or intervening too much with it. There were many challenges from the beginning, starting with bureaucracy, then with the construction. Every tank had different challenges that we had to face. You can see that its wall is identical, its tank was different. So we had to find different solutions for each of the tanks so that we preserve the surfaces as they used to be and let the walls tell the story. I was never thinking of myself being a hotelier, so it was the first hospitality project. I'm an engineer, so I had to find the solution to survive in the hospitality industry without betraying my values and the vision I initially had. More than 90% of staff working here are locals. For us, it was very, very important since the very beginning to have local staff for many reasons. First of all, they knew or they learn more about the history of the place, and then they're the best ambassadors of our brand, but also of the history of the region. Then it was a great opportunity for them to come back to their homeland, because many people of our employees used to work in other hotels in Greece or abroad, and they never had the chance to share their knowledge and their skills, but also stay where they were born, where they would like to invest their life in. So I'm very proud of the team and how it evolves, and we all keep together growing and being more mature in the way we operate the hotel.
Can we know more about you?
I was born in a village near Kuruta. It's called Savalia, the name of the village. This is where I first went to school. I have great memories back then because living in the countryside in Greece, so I was brought up late 80s, early 90s. And back then the ages were very innocent. We were out playing, there were no dangers. I have many carefree memories to remember. I made a family, I have 2 kids, and I share my life between Athens and Kuruta. I always loved architecture. I didn't study architecture, but I'm an architecture lover. I was following many design media and architecture media, and there were some case studies that I admired of adaptive reuse. I knew that this place had the potential to be one of these case studies too. An initial big challenge was to find the right architects that could understand the vision and not to over-design, because here the challenge was to keep it simple, to have minimum intervention and add as little as possible so that it becomes operational and functional, and at the same time softer, because the industrial past was a bit not as friendly as it should have been for hospitality use. Today, wine is one of the pillars of our brand, Dexamenes. So we have an extended wine list of more than 150 labels. We have more than 3 options of wine tastings that guests can experience at the hotel. What we do when we set up our menus and recipes is we start first with the research of the local produce. We start searching what we can find locally and seasonally. After finding the local produce, then we start thinking of the recipes and the menus. For me and the team here at Dexamenes, showcasing what the region can offer is one of the biggest elements that bring us happiness and keeps us motivated. So for environmental reasons, it's very important to support local producers. Plus, the result is usually very tasty and worth the efforts. This was the greatest challenge with the architects that we had to face, finding the balance of the initial history of the buildings. The structure is quite brutalistic and very industrial, so we had to add elements that would bring calmness and make the hotel more friendly. With the addition of wood, clay, and other warm materials, we made that happen. For me, the materials palette it was a very challenging process because we wanted to keep it very strict. The less materials, the better. For example, when we cut off the walls in order to create the openings, you can see that frames on the doors from the original buildings, some surfaces, and that was like a terrazzo, a very traditional technique used in Mediterranean countries, and in Greece it was very popular back then. We created our own terrazzo code with a Greek query that makes materials for building materials. And you can see, keeping the color matching and similar materials, we created a new terrazzo inspired by the materials of the original building. The cement was imported by France back then because in Greece it was unknown material. It was one of the first buildings using cement as a building material. Converting this place into a hotel was a great opportunity to invite people from all over the world to come, and I'm a local, so I had many insights to share, and I'm always willing to invite guests and share the beauties of the region, starting from ancient Olympia, for example, that's the birthplace of the Olympic Games, or historical wineries that people can visit nearby. Also, the hotel was very interesting to host guests for a couple of days so that they can have that unique experience of staying in a wine tank. And the hotel would give that opportunity for experience to be more holistic, like the site from different perspectives, different sunlight conditions, night or day. So converting that place into a hotel was a great idea.